This is a big deal. So Savage is a big brand. To start off with, Savage is a massive brand. 400,000 followers. Like, I'm pretty sure Savage is streaming right now as we speak, right? Yeah, he is. 6.5K viewers. If we actually go to like his if we actually go to flipping and like check out more of like his actual streaming statistics, Savage is big. Like Savage is super big as a streamer and as a brand, and I can only see him trying to grow that even more, right? So you see the numbers recently in the past 7 days have been down. Wait, let's check past 30 days. I want to see what his numbers are. So his hours watched has gone up, his followers gained have gone down, but like that's a trend that I've seen in Fortnite in general for most Fortnite streamers, because Fortnite on Twitch is kind of dying, and you see his hours stream, like he's just been streaming a lot less as well. But regardless, right? Like he's a big streamer. He's a big brand.
It's a bit of a sticky one still.
And what's crazy about this is I was thinking like why would Savage possibly leave or possibly not re-sign? He used to get homeschooled. Yeah, okay. Oh, I didn't actually know that, right? So Savage is in school. So somebody like Savage is massive. He's a super big brand, but when you actually think about it, like in terms of NRG and NRG's like division, Savage isn't like, I've never felt like Savage since he signed, at least since Benji kind of ascended to like the top of all of Fortnite, Savage hasn't really been a priority. I feel like with NRG, I've never. Do you guys know what I mean? Like I've never felt like I don't feel like I've seen NRG kind of really like promote Savage as much. I don't feel like he's been necessarily a priority, which makes a lot of sense, especially when you have someone on benjyfishy's, of someone of benjyfishy's magnitude. But let's see, like if we can see like tweets of any tweets from actual like NRG. Like I don't know, like I just feel like it's never been. Let's actually do this, right? Like I actually want to see it, because I just feel like in general NRG just haven't really like had Savage as a priority. Look, like in like look, this I don't know, to me this is pretty telling. Like a lot. Let's see, so they had a tweet about him. Okay, that's the goodbye tweet. Just small thing. Okay, like okay, and this is why I said like I find this so interesting. Like, just small guys. I look at like the smallest things, right? Like, he's the last on this tweet. Like he was like, okay, that's a super small thing, right? That's like a super small thing, and you might be looking at me like, oh, yo, like that's an 11. That doesn't mean anything. But like, bro, like right, like he's the last person to be tagged. Yeah, they replied to a couple of his tweets, but in terms of like making a set tweet about him, like. It was his birthday tweet. They tweeted out something, but the last real tweet of Savage that they did, a congratulations tweet, but the last like kind of real promotion of Savage that they did, November 8th. I'm sorry, like I'm not like a drama queen or anything, but if I'm a big org, if I'm on one of the big orgs, I want them to be promoting my shit as much as possible, like as much as possible, right? Let's see if we do the same thing for benjyfishy, right? Should we just do Benji or benjyfishy? What one do you think will be more accurate? We'll do benjyfishy, right? Let's say we try to do the same thing for benjyfishy. I can assure you, there's a tweet earlier. There's an earlier tweet than November. Latest Benji, literally 24 hours ago. The picture of him and Hex. The video of Benji from AO, right? Like in terms of NRG's Fortnite division, Savage has not been treated as a priority. Quite frankly, right? They have not treated Savage as a priority. But the reality of it is that Savage is so big of a brand and so big of a player that whatever org he's on, he should be treated as a priority. Look at this. They NRG spam Benji. They spam him. Look how much Benji's here. It's just non-stop tweets of Benji. We only had, since November, there was the last like real like promotional tweet for Savage where they just showed off his gameplay and said he was a beast and whatnot was in November, like the start of November. They do this shit for Benji like 4 times a week. You know, like and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's not an indictment on Savage or whatever. And it does make sense that they do that for Benji because Benji is kind of, you know, the what's hot in FN right now. But Savage is big enough to the point where he should be the number 1 priority on whatever org he's on. I think that's fair enough to say for Savage. Any org that he's on, he should be considered the number 1 priority. And so, you know, I don't know on whose behalf, right, this relationship came to an end, right? I don't know who kind of, whether it was Savage saying I don't want to re-sign or whether it was them saying they don't want to re-sign Savage. Like, Savage would have definitely, in my opinion, been like, hey, I want to be treated like a priority. I can definitely see that being a reality. I can definitely see that being a reality, and that's why I think whether he chooses to go to a new org or whether he chooses to stay independent and be a free agent, both you can see 2 different angles on it. I can see him joining a top tier 1 org that has a weak EU division, right? So when you think of the top EU orgs, what are the top EU orgs, right? Let's say we do think Savage is going to re-sign to an org, right? Let's say we think Savage is going to re-sign, but to another tier 1 org. Looking at at what orgs are doing well right now, I don't want to look at it. I want to look at cumulative. I want to look at everything. What kind of tier 1 orgs in EU are kind of lacking, or like what are the tier 1 orgs that you're not really seeing up here, right? I definitely make a case for TSM, right? TSM is an org that I could see maybe investing into EU more. They have Crew who's killing it, but you know, maybe you could see them doing it. Liquid obviously picked up Mitro. Liquid only have Mitro, and I think because Mitro doesn't put out much content, if Liquid was to pick up Savage would definitely be the face of Liquid EU. So I think that could maybe be something we see, right? This is just me doing some theory crafting, right? This is just me thinking. When it comes to NA, right? Maybe let's look at some of the top NA. Maybe a team like Sentinels. You know, you really never know, right? Sentinels might be like, hey, let's invest in some EU. I don't know. There's a lot, right? Misfits is a team that dropped like their whole EU division, other than Andretta, and obviously, they could be a team that easily could pick up Savage and maybe be investing in Savage, because as much as they have Andretta still, you know, obviously I don't want to make the link because they're teammates, right? Obviously I know they're teammates, but a lot of the time in Fortnite anyway, 2 people being teammates has nothing to do with what orgs they sign to. But if you want to, you can make that connection, right? You could make that connection of Misfits maybe picking up Savage, because he would be, once again, the face of Misfits EU, and they would promote the shit out of him. They would. Like, they probably would. Somebody's gone and said Ghost. Ghost could be another one. Ghost would be a sick one. I don't think Ghost. But Ghost is definitely one that you could throw into the mix there, right? So that's how I view it in terms of my biggest 100 Thieves would be sick. 100 Thieves would be sick, but you know, that's I think that's us getting a bit excited, a bit ambitious. Oh, he's just ended the stream. But yeah, so on that front, if Savage joins an org, I think the main priority would be that he is the priority, because it's clear that on NRG he's not been the priority, but he's big enough of a brand for him to be like, hey, look, I want to be the number 1 on your org. I want to be you know, the way Ninja is like the face of Mixer, right? I want to be the face of whatever org I am signed to. And he's definitely big enough to demand that. And on the other hand, he could just be like, I want to be independent. Maybe he picks up his streaming hours a bit more. Maybe he starts streaming. I've been doing a lot of like research and reading and watching a lot of stuff regarding like how much like streamers really make and the way and want, like, when it comes to money and whatnot. If Savage was to do things, I don't know how Savage does things, but Savage, from his like averaging, how many views does he average? Does it say here? Average 4.5K views. Savage can easily be making, easily be making like probably like 200K a year from streaming. if he does things right, like if he really wants to, with like 4,500 like average viewers, and he's a professional player and he earns prize money. Definitely, like he could choose to stay as a free agent. He really could choose to stay as a free agent if he's willing to put more hours into streaming and commit to really building his brand. He definitely could remain as a free agent, especially where he does such a great job of of just branding rights. Like he's a superstar in Norway. Him and Nyrox are flipping gaming superstars in Norway. But yeah, I could definitely see him opting to kind of stay a free agent. But realistically, I think he will sign to an org, and I think whatever org he does sign to, it will be an org where he is considered a priority. Send Savage sounds sick. That does sound sick. The 2 Norwegians on Misfits, yeah, that would be also nice. That would also be nice. But TSM would also be a nice one, because I think he would be the face of, obviously TSM have crew, but if Savage was to be picked up by TSM, he'd be the face of...
It's a bit of a sticky one still.
Of TSM. Thank you very much for the follow, Maze, Jolt, and Buckhold. I missed your follow, Buckhold. J-Mock followed me. Yo, what's up, J-Mock?
It's a bit of a sticky one still.
So yeah, I definitely love to see what org he does eventually sign to, if he does sign to one. If I had to make a guess, I'd say either TSM or Misfits. It's a bit of a sticky one still. Either TSM or Misfits. And I think whatever org it is, it will definitely be, I think it would definitely be an org where he is like the face of that org. Like he is the biggest player. Like being on FaZe wouldn't make sense, right? Because he just wouldn't be the biggest player, it would still be Mongrel. NRG obviously doesn't make sense, right? Liquid, you know, I don't even think Liquid maybe makes too much sense, especially considering Liquid just picked up Mitro. So like, whatever org he signs to, I think he it will be one where he is viewed as the face of that org, especially considering for the EU division at the least, right? Thank you very much for the follow, Dion, Messi, and Snabdu. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. Savage has a big enough brand to stay a free agent, but I don't think that's what he's doing. Yeah. That's it. That's what we were just discussing, J-Mac. I don't know how long you've been in the stream, but we were just discussing like with these kind of numbers, streaming numbers, and his social media followings, Savage easily, like guys, I assure you, I will do more research one day, and I will come here and I'll do a stream where I actually talk numbers and whatnot. But like, I can, just from looking at these numbers alone, I can tell you, like, Savage could easily like make a lot of money per year just from streaming alone. So add on top of the fact that he's one of the best Fortnite players in the world and he makes money from prize earnings, he does not need to sign to, like, in terms of financial security, I can promise you guys, he does not need an org for financial security. I can tell you that much. Like, I can tell you that much. But still, I do not. I think he will sign to an org. To even saying all that, I think he will sign to an org. Being the face of an org is good for himself. Yeah, and I think that's what he wants, because when we looked at the tweets, right? We looked at the tweets. He was not the face of NRG or Fortnite division or EU division, right? Like, Benji is the face of NRG Fortnite in EU and just NRG Fortnite in general. And he was second best when it comes to just how much attention NRG gave him. Like, you see NRG tweeted the crap out of Benji, not the same energy for Savage, quite frankly. But he deserves that same energy. So I can definitely see him moving on to a better org. And I'd love to see that happen for him, because quite frankly, he is right now probably, I think right now Savage is easily a top 5 player in EU. Obviously it's always hard to do rankings like that, but my personal opinion, right, I just think Savage is insane. Is it just me that thinks 100 views or LG? It could like, really and truly, it could be, but I'm not too sure. I don't know how much LG are willing to invest into to Fortnite right now. I know obviously LG have Kuna, but like, I don't know, I don't think I've seen LG really make the right investments into Fortnite, other than maybe like Cypher PK, right? Like, that's like the one time where they invested into FN, and I was like, oh god, they did a great job. Like, their old NA team didn't do too much. The LG's old NA team is like all kind of fallen off, quite unfortunately. 100 Thieves as well, But like I'd love to see 100 Thief Savage, but I don't know. To me, I for some like, just for some reason I just can't see that happening. I can't see that happening. It'd be interesting though, because like as well as seeing where Savage goes, I'm really interested to see where Unknown goes, because I think the same kind of argument applies to Unknown, where you know wherever org he signs to, he's gonna be the face of that org. So like in terms of that, like you can probably like do like a process of elimination in terms of different organizations, right? Of where Unknown's going. I know everyone's saying it's TSM. I'm pretty sure it was leaked. It was TSM, right? I'm not too sure. I haven't been in the loop with that stuff. I've not been paying attention to that stuff. But regardless, we'll see. We'll see how that stuff goes. He's joining phase. Wait. Okay, Mr. DJ. Biggest troll. But yeah, guys, once again, thank you guys for hanging out on the stream. Thank you guys for all chilling. We got a bunch more stuff to talk about, a bunch more stuff we're gonna get into. And one of the things I actually wanted to get into while we're here, right? This isn't necessarily Fortnite related, but holy, Project A. Holy, I want to talk about a bit about Project A and all of the hype that's around Project A right now. Unknown is definitely TSM or phase. If you were org, who would you rather sign, Unknown or Savage? If I'm on org, I'm signing Unknown. Yeah, definitely signing Unknown over Savage. Unknown is like holy guys. I think a lot of people realize how valuable Unknown is. In terms of streaming numbers, we can probably try compare. I'm not sure who has better streaming numbers. I think Savage has better streaming numbers than Unknown, but like regardless, like Unknown, like his potential to grow as a like brand is ridiculous. Like it is ridiculous. He's been down on streaming hours, still a lot more than Savage, to be fair. Yeah, so like so Savage has better average viewers, but that's just because Unknown streams at really competitive times. Like if Unknown had like a stream manager or someone who like helped him, like if Unknown wanted to be like the biggest Fortnite streamer, I think he definitely could be. Because whenever he streams, it's always very, very competitive. Like Unknown doesn't stream to be a streamer. Unknown like streams like to just show his gameplay off like while he's playing and whatnot. Like if he wanted to dominate streaming in Fortnite, he definitely could. But his streaming numbers are great, even though they're all down. But like I said, like followers gained and viewers gained, all of that is down for all kind of Fortnite streamers. So I wouldn't, be too worried about that. Like for all of the streamers, the top streamers in Fortnite, it's down just because unfortunately Fortnite as a category on Twitch is dying. Savage has better numbers, but Unknown's a beast. And yeah, and the thing about Unknown is Unknown also like he identifies with controller players and like the whole console scene. Like if he wanted to, like he can market himself as like the Lord Almighty of all console Fortnite, and all console Fortnite players would love him. Like he's just much more I don't know if he's more marketable actually. I think Savage might be more marketable really, but like I feel like Unknown's potential to be marketable is kind of unlimited if anything.